A spy enters a dream to plant an idea and finds his lost wife. Start with a dramatic, cinematic music bed under the narration. What would you give up for one last moment with the person you lost? What price would you pay to simply look into their eyes one more time? For Dominic Cobb, the price was his sanity, his home, and his entire reality. He didn't just want a moment. He wanted to build entire worlds just to hold on to the ghost of his wife, Mal. This film, Inception, is not about corporate espionage or a heist. It is a deeply personal, psychological journey of a man trying to forgive himself. The question that truly matters is not whether the top falls in the final scene, but why Cobb finally stopped caring about the answer. We are going to break down how Christopher Nolan used the complex architecture of dreams to mask a simple, devastating truth. Cobb's real mission was never to plant an idea in Robert Fisher's mind, but to finally plant the idea of acceptance in his own. Cobb's ordinary world is anything but ordinary. It is a perpetual state of exile, a man living in the shadow of a crime he didn't commit, haunted by a death he caused. His profession, extraction, is the perfect metaphor for his life. He steals secrets from the minds of others because he cannot face the secrets buried in his own. When Saito, the powerful CEO, offers him the impossible job, Inception, the planting of an idea, Cobb initially refuses. This is his refusal of the call, not because the job is too difficult, but because it requires him to confront the very mechanism that destroyed his marriage, planting an idea. The irony is profound. To get home, he must repeat the sin that made him a fugitive. But Saito's promise, a clean slate, a return to his children, is the ultimate emotional hook, the only stake high enough to force Cobb to cross the threshold. To execute this impossible task, Cobb must assemble a team, and the most crucial member is the architect, Ariadne. Ariadne is not just a designer of mazes. She is Cobb's mentor, his guide into the labyrinth of his own subconscious. Her function is to map the dream space, but her true purpose is to help Cobb map his own mind. Every time Mal's projection appears, violently disrupting the dream, Ariadne is the one who forces Cobb to face it. She is the one who asks the hard questions, the one who demands to see the truth of the locked room in his mind. This is the first layer of transformation. The film uses the technical challenge of building a dream to explore the psychological challenge of confronting grief. Mal, the lost wife, is not just a security measure. She is Cobb's projection of guilt, a constant reminder that he is responsible for convincing her that their shared reality was a dream, leading to her tragic death. The mission into Robert Fisher's mind, the 3 levels of the dream, serves as the film's elaborate crossing the threshold. This is the action-packed distraction that keeps the audience engaged, but for Cobb, it is a desperate attempt to avoid the real ordeal. We see the team navigate the rainy city, the hotel, and the snow fortress, each level escalating the stakes and the action. But notice how Cobb's emotional state is the true barometer of the mission's success. The projections of Mal become more aggressive, more frequent, and more dangerous the deeper they go. The action is a spectacle, but the analysis reveals it as a defense mechanism. The mission is a success only if Cobb can maintain control over his own projections, which are the true threat to the entire operation. The film cleverly uses the complexity of the dream rules, the kicks, the time dilation, to mask the simple, human drama unfolding, a man fighting his own mind. The true ordeal occurs when the team falls into the limbo, the shared subconscious where time is infinite and reality is malleable. This is Cobb's death and resurrection. He finally confronts Mal in the world they built together, the world where they spent 50 years. This is the climax of his personal journey, not the explosion in the snow fortress. In the limbo, Cobb must finally confess his guilt, not to the team, but to the memory of his wife. He admits that he planted the idea, that he stole her reality. By accepting responsibility for his actions, he performs the true inception on himself. He plants the idea that Mal is gone, and he must let her go. This act of self-forgiveness is the emotional resolution of the entire film. He doesn't just leave the limbo, he is reborn from it, having finally resolved the internal conflict that has driven his entire life. The final scene is the return with the elixir. Cobb is back in the real world, passing through customs, and finally seeing his children. The reward is not the money from Saito, but the peace of mind that allows him to embrace the possibility of a normal life. He spins the top, his totem, the object he uses to determine if he is dreaming. But as the top spins, he doesn't wait for it to fall. He turns his back on it and walks away to greet his children. This is the ultimate moment of transformation. The top is irrelevant because Cobb has achieved a new certainty. He has chosen the reality that allows him to be happy. He has accepted the uncertainty of the external world because he has found certainty within himself. The top is a symbol for the audience, but for Cobb, it is a relic of a past he has finally overcome. He has learned that the only reality that matters is the one he chooses to live in. Music swells slightly. Inception is a masterpiece because it uses the spectacle of science fiction to tell a deeply human story about grief, guilt, and the power of an idea. The true spy was Cobb, infiltrating his own mind to plant the idea of acceptance. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the psychological layers of Nolan's masterpiece, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more analyses. And tell me in the comments, if you could plant one idea in your own mind, what would it be? Music fades out. End of script.